Nerdrotic.com. Nerdrotic.com.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Nerdrotic Nooner. Let me get a little closer. Let's get a little closer here. A little bit tighter. You guys still see Gina, though. Hail, Gina Carano. My name is Gary Beekler. I come to you from Nerdrotic.com. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend as the world gets back to work, kind of, before the next mandate or whatever happens. We are just a couple of weeks away from the recall here in California, and I am so excited because I think he might actually get recalled. I was talking to some people in Burbank. I went up to LA this weekend, and it was nice to see that. What is it a Burbanker? A Burbankian? I'm not really sure, but all to a man and woman wanted that dude out. I was talking to business owners, so of course they would. Went to a really cool store called Blast from the Past. It's been there for a long time. I used to go there in my Technicolor days when I worked down in Hollywood for a couple of years, and I'd spend my lunch going over there and looking at things I could not buy. And it's got hot toys. It's just a store made for me. A perfect mix of vintage comics, vintage toys, new toys, hot toys, all kinds of stuff. Props. If you don't buy a thing, it's like a museum. It's a fun place to go check out. It's on, I think, Magnolia. I should know the street. Oh, there's a card right in front of me. Or there was. There it is, right there. Yeah, Magnolia Boulevard, 3117 Magnolia Boulevard, Burbank, California, if you're there. They didn't ask me to do that. I'm just doing it. So I think what happened a few days ago that sparked some debate, I'll use Hollywood language here. I think it's a teachable moment for Hollywood and for adult pretenders on exactly how you do not endear yourself to a fan base. What probably sounded like a good idea to her, the actress, the adult pretender, probably didn't run it by her PR team, just thought, everybody tells me I'm awesome all the time anyway, and I'm just beautiful, so I can do no wrong. And she pulled a Jodie Whittaker, but like so much worse. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend, Cowboy Bebop is something I am aware of. My employees at the comic shop played it in my store. I halfway paid attention to it. It seemed fine. I got nothing wrong, nothing against it, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm a fan or anything. But from the fan perspective, Hollywood always gets it wrong. And then, of course, there is the corporate simps on this platform who either, purposefully miss the point or just it's in their nature to miss the point all the time, which I might lean towards the latter for one particular content creator, air quotes. One that I've learned a lot from over the years. Pretty much whatever that content creator does, I don't. And it's worked out so far. So that content creator, of course, called me an NPC. They're trying to do, we're going to start using their language against them because we're so clever. And I think one of their points was that the guy or gal, I don't know, who created, I think it's guy, who created Cowboy Bebop's on board as a creative consultant, which means a dick. It could mean that they're sitting in the writer's room, or it could mean that they were just given a big check to add some legitimacy to what has now become the meme, the Netflix adaptation. And, there's a reason that meme exists. So it really wasn't about, it is about the costume. There are people who are very particular about costumes. I don't have an issue with the boob size or anything like that. But when it comes to source material, I am a bit of a purist when it comes to costuming. But to come out and essentially say, let's just bottom line this now, because in the game of the internet, of content creation, a lot of times it's perception is reality, whether she meant to say it the way she said it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. She came out and said it. And she basically said, oh, yeah, your sexist show that you little incels liked, yeah, it sucked. And I'm going to come in and make it better. Yeah, I can understand why people are mad about that. They have every right to be mad about that. She just could have not said anything and let the product speak for itself. But we are in this new era where, a lot of actors, actresses, and creatives don't think they're in the customer service business. But the minute you go on social media and your social media is based on whatever job you get, then you are connected to that job. You are wearing that job's uniform and you are representing that company. Now, apparently she's deleted the video. Smart move. And maybe maybe she should come out and clarify, whatever. Again, this isn't as bad as Kevin Smith. What Kevin Smith did, Kevin Smith should know better because supposedly he is a nerd. This just, again, it's another example of how Hollywood doesn't understand fandom and never will understand fandom. Period. The one thing I know most of you in the chat will identify with is, why do you care so much? If you have to ask that question to a nerd, then you don't understand. And maybe you want a legitimate answer. I don't know. But it's usually presented not as a question, more as an attack. Like, why do you care so much? It's, why do you care that I care so much? What's it to you? We've always heard as nerds that, you're just a little bit too into Star Wars. You're just a little bit too into comics. So fucking what? No shame to my game. Don't let there be any shame to your game. We've had to deal with that all our lives. Back in the old days when nerds were not looked on that great, and they're not now. They're just pretending, by the way. That's why I call them adult pretenders, because they're pretending off screen as well as on screen most of the time. And that's where that line has always been between creator and fandom. I find a lot of times the creators did sound and act like the jocks. Because they had this talent, they could do this thing. They could either remember and interpret lines very well and pretend better than somebody else, or they're able to, in the comic industry, they're able to draw pretty damn well or tell a pretty good story. But instead of trying to connect with fans, they feel like they need to be put on a pedestal. It's usually due to some major insecurity and not getting hugged by their mom enough or whatever. But there's always been this disdain for fandom, and it really exists in the access media as well. I started seeing that when I had the comic shop, and, I did a couple of interviews, and it's just, I remember one I did for Wired magazine. They're like, really, what are the fans like? And those fans, I'm like, they're fucking wonderful. They're paying customers. They take their hard-earned money and they come into my shop, and they chose my shop, and they spend, a lot sometimes on comic books. And in this case, they come to the channel too, and that's fucking great. And more power to anybody else who can do that too. That's something, I'm grateful for. It's always better to be inspired than envious. So she probably just thought she was going to have this spicy hot take and get a lot of, laughs and atta girls and, you go girl, you slay queen and all that bullshit. Instead, she poked the bear that is the anime and the manga fan. And I've talked about this before on many live streams. There's certain sects of fandom, not sex, but sect of fandom that are, a little more passionate than others, we'll say. For instance, the DC fan. The DC comic book fan is a lot more passionate than the Marvel comic book fan, to the tune of like 1,000 times. Something I didn't really understand until I started selling comics to you guys. And there's nothing wrong with that. I've always kind of I've equated it to a sports ball, to the Raider fans. Raider fans don't care what city their team is in. They don't care how shitty their coach is. They just love their team blindly. As Jim Rome used to put it, they used to be myopic about their team. I saw it as passion. Now I've always hated the Raiders as a Charger fan, but I respected the fan base, right? So it didn't matter where Al Davis took the team, LA, Oakland, now it's in Vegas. They're just going to go. They don't care. That's what DC fans are. They'll criticize their own stuff, but if somebody else criticizes it, it's like somebody criticizing a family member. Like you'll argue all day long with your sister, but if somebody talks shit about your sister, you're going to go after them. So she's finding that out. So Netflix, I tweeted about this. Netflix started with Cuties, which is still on the platform. And then Kevin Smith, showed you who he really was, which is he's a Hollywood creative now. He's not a man of the people. He's not a nerd of the people, and hasn't been for a long, long time. He got exposed for lying. He dragged a fans channel, by the way. Yes, Clownfish TV have worked in the comic book industry, but first and foremost, they're fans. They're paying customers. They're somebody who has was into He-Man, right? So you dragged a paying customer when all you had to do was say nothing, right? Because they didn't tweet at you. And that's all this actress had to do was just say, hey, I'm going to do, I heard, for one, it's obvious it got under her skin. And if you want to stay employed, you know what? It's pretty easy to deal with fans. Yeah, fans are going to be fat. Some people are going to be assholes. Just ignore it. There's always going to be assholes out there. But most of them were just, oh my God, it's another thing. We've seen Hollywood destroy thing we love after thing we love. So her, lack of awareness of the big picture, not that she has to be, but she doesn't see it in the grand scheme of things of, oh, now they're coming after anime. Now, which they are, and Hollywood is going to do their damnedest to fuck that up. And thankfully, you guys have the source material. It's, sure, the creative signed on, whatever. He probably got a big fat Netflix paycheck and probably has little to do with the actual making of the series. Or I don't know. Is he writing episodes? Is he a showrunner? I could be wrong. But the bottom line is don't fuck with the fans. Again, still, there'll be another one in 6 months. How many times this one came a little sooner, but it's generally every 6 months, some creative pokes the bear of fandom and then goes, oh, I'm a victim here. And plenty of people have showed the cosplay. It was, I think it was Anna who put up on Twitter that, she was in another movie where she's wearing, next to nothing. They're full of shit. And once the woke nonsense and the Me Too time's up nonsense, which is falling apart, by the way, it's slowly falling apart. There is a shift happening. I don't know if any of our franchises can be saved, but there is a shift happening. One thing I promise you, if Hollywood does abandon the woke someday, Disney will be the last one to that party. They will be the last one to change. The direction they're going in is unbelievable. I put this on Twitter yesterday just because it triggers the right Marvel stands, but we'll go look today too, by the way, but I put up ticket sales for Shang-Chi at the local theater near me, which is a big IMAX theater in Southern California, 100 miles away from their home base, Hollywood, 100 miles south, in a county of 3.3 million people, and they had like 15 tickets sold. The movie opens in a couple of days. So I saw the same thing with Black Widow, and it still had, decent numbers to open up with, but I still call shenanigans on all of it. Just kind of look with your eyes. Don't listen to their bullshit and see what you really see. I don't doubt for 1 minute if I check the Burbank theater or any of the LA theaters, it'll be packed. But in the peripheral areas, again, just normal California town, people aren't going to movies. But somehow Jungle Book got a sequel. Ooh, Jesus. Probably going straight to Disney Plus. Let's see who's here. Let's see who is here. Bump, 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 bump. Look at that. Look at that. I'll get a little more centered here. Dude, that chat box is popping up again. There we go. We got Joseph Joester, double back again. John Connors, Liger fan. Richie Dupe, Justin White, Max Relax. We are here. Rambam 3000. Father Christopher Miller, Stone Dog 1971. Brightest Day, Joe Smith. PM, is that supposed to PM 5K Blast? Hail to you. What's Yellow Flash? What's up? If you are not subscribed to Yellow Flash, which most of you probably are, please subscribe to Yellow Flash. He is a good dude and a great YouTuber. Hello, Yellow Flash. Nice to see you here. Chad is here. Hey, bro. What's up, Chad? How's it going? Fury 8. 187, T. Stoney, Duck Nation, Slade Lawton, Olaf Van S. And Lord Thoth and his wrench, Eric K and his wrench, Aiden McGurr, what's up? Smokey Beef Rarus, Musical Neptunian. Well, I guess that's better than being a why am I blanking on this now? Oh, it doesn't matter. Gaza, what's up? Brian Kadersha. God, it sucks getting old. It really does, man. There's things that just fly out of your brain. It's like, oh, well, that was that acid trip from 1987. Cost me that one. The R. Garth Vader. Sapphire Dragon. James Hamblin. Dawn of Mutilation. David Gill. I've been listening to, Dawn of Mutilation makes, oh, by the way, Man of War 665, the neighbor of the beast. I heard he was in the storm. I hope he is okay. I heard there might have been some problems with his roof. So I hope him and his family is doing great. I met him in Vegas. Good dude. Got my Man of War CD. I've been listening to that nonstop. It's fucking great. I've been on like this weird, crazy metal kick, probably because I talked to Nick Weiser, and we were talking about corrosion of conformity, and just, grind metal and stuff. So yeah, I've been on kind of a metal kick and a typo negative kick. R.I.P. Peter Steele, by the way. Fucking love typo negative. Where is the As? Well, I mean, I stream solo once in a while. That's why it's the Nerdrotic Nooner. The Real BBC will return tomorrow on Az's channel at 10 a.m., and I might as well make the big announcement now. We have a new co-host, permanent co-host for that show, Mahler. That's right. Mahler has committed. And, yeah. I mean, he might miss a show here and there because, he does stuff, and that's fine. We all might do that. But Mahler is part of the team now. So, fucking hail Mahler. That's fun. That's going to be good. Yeah. Still going to do the Nooner, by the way, will be, and I've said this before, will be way more consistent once I move to Texas and have the studio set up, and it will be at a set time, and I'll be live streaming practically every day. Yeah, the long man. I'm fucking so excited. I am so excited. And that's, it's good to have some British representation on the Real BBC finally. And it's here. But no, hail Az. I think Az has been on a Witcher 3 kick. I was watching him for like an hour. And maybe I'll stream to try to get out of the room or just stare at that ass. All right. So the young actress, I'm let me get her name here. The adult pretender. I don't know if there's a new Bounding into Comics article on it or not. I don't think so. Oh, we'll get back to that. Let's go to Bounding into Comics, hot off the presses from John F. Trent, the great John F. Trent, future Pulitzer Prize winning John F. Trent. I haven't said that in a long time. By the way, we should get John Trent on the Real BBC as well, just as a guest. I think that would be a good idea, don't you? John's a good guy. Let's get to the article, and now you can't see it. Why? Oh, that's why. Oh, give me a moment here. There we go. Shang-Chi expected to have worst opening weekend ever for Marvel Cinematic Universe film. Marvel Studios and Disney upcoming Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings starring Simu Liu, who is quickly becoming the male Brie Larson, and Awkwafina. Will she be bringing her black scent with her? I'm not sure. By the way, that's Marvel's Katie. God, I remember. Okay, Bronze Age fans out there, remember back in the day when you'd go to your 7-Eleven and it said still only 25 cents and you got Marvel's Katie? All the days hanging out with my friends, eating junk food, reading Marvel's Katie. I remember that time she defeated the Black Panther and Silver Surfer with some well-placed sarcasm. Marvel's Katie. is expected to have the worst opening weekend ever for a Marvel Cinematic Universe film. John, you just repeated the headline. You know I don't like that. Box office tracking website Box Office Pro predicted earlier this month that Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. By the way, the Ten Rings has nothing to do with Shang-Chi. That is obviously from Iron Man lore, because they can't use the villain that they originally used, Fu Manchu, because I don't think China would appreciate that very much. Just so you know, though, those comics were great. Jim Starlin art, Paul, I think you pronounce it Gulacy, I'm not sure. His art was brilliant as well. It was basically Bruce Lee, the comic book, and they got a guy who looks more like the Chinese premier. Is that what these called? The boss, the kingpin of the CCP, whatever he's called, the chairman. Yeah, he doesn't look like Bruce Lee. Box office tracking website Box Office Pro, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is only expected to have an opening weekend between 35 million and 55 million. What was our bet? Mahler, what was our bet? What was our bet? I can't remember our bet. Tell you what, whatever opening weekend it has, it's going to take a giant steaming dump the second weekend. Unless, of course, it's an absolute triumph. If it's an absolute triumph and I go see it, and it is, I will tell you, I will eat my crow and say, you know what? The thing was an absolute triumph. I just have a feeling that's not going to happen, but I got to keep an open mind in these things. The question has to be asked, is this something I would see without the channel? Yeah, probably. It's a Marvel thing. I would go see it anyway. Right here, of course, we have an incident on a San Francisco bus. That's a daily occurrence. If this prediction holds, Shang-Chi will have the worst opening weekend in the MCU ever. We've said that before. The current holder of that title is Universal's The Incredible Hulk, starring Edward Norton and Liv Tyler. That was released back in 2008. The Incredible Hulk had an opening of $55.4 million. However, if you factor in inflation, the opening weekend box office was $70 million in 2021 dollars. Well, if we the way things are going, John, we're going to have to readjust inflation hourly. Like at about 3 o'clock, it's going to be 80 million. And by tomorrow, it could be 100 million, adjusted for inflation. Not only is Shang-Chi predicted to have the worst opening weekend in the Marvel Cinematic Universe history, man, he's really pushing that. You go get him, John. But it's predicted to be the worst performing MCU film at the domestic box office for its entire run in theaters. Box Office Pro predicted the films will earn between 100 million and 165 million. Looking at the top end, if Shang-Chi earns 165 million, the only film it would best would be The Incredible Hulk, which grossed 134.8 million at the domestic box office. However, if you factor in inflation, it gets handily beaten by The Incredible Hulk's gross. In today's dollars, it would be 170.9 million. And by tomorrow morning, it'll be 200 million. As for why Shang-Chi's opening weekend and total gross numbers are so poor, well, it looks boring as hell. Box Office Pro claims that the main factors is the rise in severe virus cases and hospitalizations among the unvaccinated population. And the vaccinated population, too. According to the University of Minnesota, Carlson School of Management, Randall Carlson, COVID-19 hospitalizations have increased in August, with the latest data from August 29th showing the total number of 93,000 hospitalizations due to the COVID. The highest total of people hospitalized was on January 8th with 128,000. So as Eric July has pointed out, the goalposts have now moved again. So we've gone from deaths to cases to hospitalizations. You notice that they don't bring up test results anymore. However, blaming the COOF doesn't really make sense when the CEO of Live Nation is claiming that live concert tickets are being sold out faster than ever. Yep. CEO Michael Rapino said during the company's first quarter financial call in May, fans are buying tickets and events are selling out faster than ever. He added, "We're just seeing demand beyond any other historical moment." He proceeded to point to Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks just this morning broke the Ticketmaster record. Yeah, people love that dude. I'm perplexed by that, but like, I'm not going to throw any shade. If you like Garth Brooks, you go get him. What I have noticed is people are also traveling too. While Las Vegas was devoid of any international tourists, Vegas looked packed. Like there was a lot of people there. You know, at our event at FNT Vegas, you know, it was originally done, you know, because I wanted to do something similar to when, and I was meant to go to this and I didn't go, when Jeremy went to Star Wars Celebration, right? In Chicago, I think it was, right? So, you know, you're able to attach to an event so you can get, you know, more people there. That's the deal. We weren't really attached to an event this year. I mean, like, I think maybe one or two of the people who went to our event were intending to go to the Star Trek convention that turned out not to be a Star Trek convention. And we had people going to see, just to hang out with each other, to enjoy the party, right? Which was really impressive. I thought that was cool. You know, I think we probably should do a meetup, right? Or, I don't know. I wouldn't go to Star Wars Celebration, but I'll meet you guys. I give a fuck about Star Wars. More on that later. Deadline reports Brooks sold over 50,000 tickets in less than 30 minutes for his upcoming concert at Rice-Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake City, Utah. The concert took place in July. Yeah, I think GNR sold out in LA or got close, and those tickets were ridiculously expensive. And like I said, a lot of people are hitting the road. The traffic is back in Southern California. And as I said in my last video, I was sitting in empty theaters, but my Home Depot is not empty. Lowe's isn't empty. My grocery store isn't empty. Again, SoCal traffic is back. I sat in a fuck ton of it in LA. Oh, God. Oh, I hate not being able to tell you guys things. All right. So there's things I can't tell you. Some of it was I signed an NDA, but more importantly, I promised I wouldn't say anything. And one of them would like completely spoil a certain TV show, which I would never, ever, ever, ever do. That would make me the biggest dick on the planet because you guys are going to love it. God, there's something that happened this weekend. I have to talk to somebody first. How can I phrase this to not be a complete tease to you guys? I went up to LA for a reason, and that thing didn't happen. Now, I went for a thing, and then I also went to go to Blast from the Past. So it wasn't a total loss because I went to Blast from the Past. But I was also up there on, it wasn't business, it was leisure stuff, but it didn't happen. And I don't know if I can say anything, so I'll just shut up. I talk too much sometimes. And I'll see if I can say anything. I got to check with somebody. Deadline reports. Okay, I read that part. Virginia Tech Athletics just reported that the Hokies opening game against North Carolina. Oh, we're in the sports ball. Oh my God, John, come on. The Hokies opening game against North Carolina in Blacksburg has been sold out. The home of the Hokies, Lane Stadium, holds 66,233 people. As Fox Sports notes, Dover Motorsports reported that the recent NASCAR race at Nashville Speedway sold out all 38,000 seats at its facility. I love seeing big crowds of people. I saw the big crowd, at the Padres game here. I check in on my Padres once in a while. On top of that, Black Widow opened just shy of 2 months ago in theaters, and it had an opening weekend of 80 million. That was good for the sixth. Worst opening weekend for a Marvel Cinematic Universe film. Fucking John, you're awesome. Still, it outperformed Ant-Man and Wasp. I'm sorry, that's the Wasp and Ant-Man. Thor, Ant-Man, Captain America, First Avenger, criminally underrated movie. Captain America, First Avenger, top 3 Marvel film. You can't even change my mind. You can't, because it's top 3 Marvel film. And The Incredible Hulk. However, it would end up as the 5th worst MCU film on domestic gross total. It only beat Thor, Ant-Man, Captain America, First Avenger, and The Incredible Hulk. However, if you factor in inflation, the only film it beat was The Incredible Hulk. Aside from the pandemic, Box Office Pro also points out the fact that Shang-Chi isn't a well-known character. That's true. They note Shang-Chi himself isn't generally known beyond the most diehard fan circles. And quite frankly, they haven't done jack shit with the character since he ended his run back in the early 80s. They've come back and they tried to Marvel Knights. They've had him pop up in like the new Avengers, which was interesting. But, I know everybody thought when Ronan was around, they thought Ronan was going to be Shang-Chi, but it ended up being Hawkeye. And, by the way, the Ronan costume ended up being the coolest Hawkeye costume they used in the entire MCU. They also point to the fact that the film is releasing on Labor Day weekend, where many people are accustomed to using the final opportunity for a vacation or break from the full-fledged return to work or school in the fall, which doesn't really play out because here in California, school starts in August now. Kids are back at school. That was bizarre to see. I saw a school bus with a bunch of kids. That hasn't happened here in California in almost 2 years because of the fucking teachers union. Don't get me started. I got myself started. I can't blame you guys for that. Finally, they point to major cities like New York City requiring vaccination passes that could potentially hinder some of the family audience that would typically show up for Marvel films, given the all ages appeal, specifically kids under 12 who are not yet eligible for any COOF vaccines if regional governments don't allow for exemptions. So in my last video, I mentioned that the logic in Hollywood is if they mandate the COOF passport, that will increase the number of moviegoers because the vaccinated will feel more safe to go to the movie. You heard me right. The vaccinated will feel more safe to go to the movie, saying that if you're vaccinated, you're worried about the person that isn't vaccinated. But the thing is, you're vaccinated. It's supposed to be okay, right? Right? Or maybe not right. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm just an idiot with a microphone who's been kicked out of 3 high schools. But I do know that Shang-Chi is probably, most likely, possibly, maybe going to have the worst opening weekend for a Marvel Cinematic Universe film ever. What did he mention? 5 times in that? I mean, I fucking love John. John's brutal, man. You look at that. He looks like this nice guy. He's kind of got an opie look to him. I say that with all due respect. He just looks like the guy next door. A nice feller. Dude, his pen is like a straight razor. Slices. He makes people so mad. And that's why we love him. Hail John F. Trent and Bounding into Comics, who have provided so many of us with so much content. I don't think he gets thanked enough, to be honest with you. And you know what? He's one of the few voices out there that tries to break the fucking narrative, right? And we need more and more people like that all the time, practicing common sense, showing the other side of things. I think John's a pretty fair guy, actually. If you talk to him, he's pretty fair. I reviewed Titans with him, and he was being much nicer to it than I was, until we both decided it sucked. But I might go back and watch season 3. I don't know if it's gotten any better, but I wanted Titans to do good, but I see Akiva Goldsman's name attached to it, and I'm like, there's just no way. There's just no way. Let's get to a few questions. I hope all of you are having a splendid day. Hollywood can kiss my ass. Daniel for $100. Daniel, thank you. How you doing? He says, when all this went down, I was trying to support business that were forced to close their doors. If business owners had all stood together, we could have defied this insanity. Instead, the few that defied were singled out. My best wishes to your wife's future endeavors. Daniel, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that was a tough thing, and I'm going to talk about that in a video, Daniel, because and listen, I want to warn everybody, I'm doing a Gavin Newsom California Cal Exit video on this channel. It's going to be political. It's not anything I make a habit of, but this affected my life personally, and more importantly, it affected my wife. And like, whatever, do shit to me, come after me, whatever, fucking fuck with my wife, man. I get a little testy, okay? We'll just say I get a little fucking testy. So we talked about that, Daniel. We talked about staying open. And let me tell you a little anecdotal story. I worked at Toyota for a little while, and the company was fucking us over on our overtime. I noticed it immediately because I'm one of those guys who, reads my paycheck, checks my hours, because I don't trust that easily. And there's mistakes that happen, and there's people who try to screw you, especially in the auto industry. So I noticed immediately that our overtime was getting screwed with. So I went to all the guys. I'm like, guys, check your paycheck. Our overtime's getting screwed with. And they're like, oh, yeah, it kind of looks like it. Yeah. I'm like, okay, we need to go and talk to the manager about this. We need to get this fixed. They're like, but it's not that much. I don't want to rock the boat. I might get fired. And then I'm like, no, they're breaking the law, dude. They're like, they can't do this. They can't fire you over this. So I was the lone guy because nobody would had the sack to fucking go up to the manager and say, like, dude, this is you're screwing us on overtime. Lo and behold, I get singled out by upper management. They get a little pissed at me because nobody had my fucking back. And it became a miserable place to be. So I just told them to fuck off and quit and went to Tesla. What happens 2 months later? I get a little fucking letter in my mailbox, class action lawsuit against Toyota for screwing people over for overtime. Got $600. But if we would have said something at the time, we were getting screwed over to the tune of thousands. But we got $600 when they finally sacked up and did a class action lawsuit instead of doing something right away. People live in fear, man. People are afraid, and you can't really blame them. You're risking everything. But you're right, Daniel. If most California business owners united and band together and just said, fuck it, we're not closing. You can't close all of us. It would have ended in a second. Just like the lockdown would have ended in a second. Just like anything would if we just decide to say fucking no. The answer is no. Melissa made the ballsy decision and the smart decision to just call it. And it was after California, San Francisco in particular, had lockdown, and then they gave us a date where they're opening back up. And you had to Melissa had to get her salon. She had to get the seats certain feet apart. She had to redo a bunch of salons. Restaurants had to put thousands of dollars into their business to rearrange everything. So everybody got set up. Everybody put a bunch of money in, got set up. By the way, I need to remind everyone, if you're a beautician in California, you are you're licensed by the state. Licensed health and safety by the state. Didn't matter. They were non-essential. By the way, everybody's fucking job is essential. Fucking Newsom. So London Breed last minute says no, we're gonna stay locked down. So it was all the starts and false starts and restarts, and then it happened like 3 or 4 times. Open, close, open, close. We're gonna open. No, we're not really gonna open. You can't fucking run a business like that. You can't run your life like that. But see, London Breed doesn't care. The mayor of San Francisco's never worked a day in her life in fucking private business. She has been a faculty member. She's always worked for the state. She's always worked for the state. She's always been a state employee, which means minimum work, maximum pay, wouldn't know the first fucking thing about running a business. Gavin Newsom at least runs a business, but that's because it was gifted to him by his daddy, who used to work for Getty Oil, I believe. He was a lawyer for Getty Oil. By the way, Gavin Newsom's business were all exempt and did just fine over the coup. That's no coincidence. He was able to break his own rules and go to the French Laundry, and his kids went to private school and got their education. Everything was fine. He lived the life of privilege. He is a privileged boy, using their language. Now, I don't have a problem with it. I'm not envious of it. But when you're mandating rules on us, like you're some kind of God overlord, and then you don't practice them, then I'm going to point it out and fuck you. And you're a fucking hypocrite. And he's always been a shitty fucking mayor. And he's a shitty fucking governor. And yeah, I want his metaphorical scalp. Fuck yeah. Right before I leave. Vote for Larry Elder. Larry Elder has him fucking freaked out. According to the LA Times, Larry Elder is the black face of white supremacy. That's how fucking desperate they are. What an ugly, disgusting statement. And that's from the Los Angeles Times, which is now like just another fucking rag. I would trust the New York Post more than actually I do trust the New York Post more than I trust those garbage tier fucking they're just what was it Pravda? What was the state newspaper in the USSR? That's all they are. So yeah, it's like a year and a half later. Melissa's moved on. She's good, but I'm not going to forget this shit. I'm never going to forget this shit. And I learned from it. And what I learned is, it does matter who the dog catcher is. I want to know who the fuck the dog catcher is. I want to know who everybody is, who overlords over us in our general area. And I'm going to move somewhere where it's not that many people. Right now, I've got like an army of people, county supervisors and all that shit. I want to move in the country where it's like a guy or a girl who lived in that county for 30 years and just represents it. That would be great. But Melissa's doing, Daniel, again, thank you for the kind words, and I will pass that on to Melissa. Good man. Not that alt-right guy for $20. Ha! On requiring vax for movies. The same people using opt-out for decades are now saying opt-in will bring more people, right? They are, nobody said they were smart. Nobody said for 1 minute that they were smart. I mean, just look at Cowboy Bebop actress. Again, I saw people defending her, saying she didn't really mean that, and her prior work, and da. That shit doesn't matter. That shit doesn't matter. It was the perception of the act that matters in the law of the internet and optics and stuff. And you know what? No, it's not fair. Life isn't fair. Again, I have no idea what her intention was. I just know how it sounded to fans. And that's partially why I'm here. I'll speak for my channel and my actions. You don't go after fandom, period. It's just a bad move that you'll lose every single time. Rian Johnson isn't going to be getting his trilogy. And the reason he's not getting his trilogy is because he popped off to some fans and he became the target of fandom. And now he's a pariah. So sure, he can make his little Knives Out movies because now he's a political provocateur, but he's no longer a director. He can't take on anything big because he'll be too polarizing, but he can do his little, left-wing political dramas. And now he's stuck in that niche, but he's done doing popular film because he made the worst of all time. As far as popular films go, The Last Jedi is the worst of all time. The worst destruction of a beloved character of all time, next to Jar Jar Abrams' Han Solo assassination. And Chris Chibnall's character assassination of the Doctor. It's been quite a few years of destruction, and they meant to do it. And they thought they would get away with it if it wasn't for those pesky kids. Welcome, Ironworks Gaming, to the proto-molecule level. I appreciate it. So I got to get her name here. I meant to get her name. Why do I see Snowflake in Safe Space? Arnold Schwarzenegger lost a sponsor because he said, screw your freedom. That's a really dumb fucking thing to say. So her Daniela Pineda. Can't say I've heard of her. But Cowboy Bebop has fucked itself before it even began, and it didn't need to. All you got to do is shut up, but nope. I've got this really smarmy thing to say on Instagram, and so many people are going to think it's funny because everybody tells me I'm funny, and it has nothing to do with how pretty I am. Actually, it does. It does. So she deleted the video. Should have done that a while ago. It's a little late. Oh, but the people, the quote unquote content creators who come after what we said, just remember, there's a lot of content creators here that want to work in Hollywood. That's their desire. They come at things more from a creative aspect. When they're really not that creative. And I'm a paying customer, the fan. That's what we're here for. That's what we're always here for. We got Jon Favreau. We didn't really get to this article on Friday. I wanted to, but shit happens. By the way, how fucking awesome is that theme song? Dan Vasc is brilliant. And I know the mods have put links to go find the Friday Night Tights theme, the extended version on Amazon Music, iTunes, wherever you want to get it. Please support it. That helps. Dan worked very hard on this, and so did Perry, and they're great. And Grace Randolph's appearance on Friday Night Tights was an all-timer. Maybe we'll get her back. You never know. Jon Favreau touts Kathleen Kennedy, praises her work on The Mandalorian. Okay, so as I said, I went to Blast from the Past, and I did watch the making of The Mandalorian. And my takeaway is I felt nothing except annoyed that I saw Jon Favreau touting Kathleen Kennedy, praising her pretty hard. It was strategically placed. There isn't a frame of, by the way, this was supposed to be the making of the finale of The Mandalorian season 2, but it was all about Luke. And you didn't see any Gina. I don't know if you saw any Pablo. I think you saw a little bit of Pablo, but you didn't see any Gina. And they just focused on Mark Hamill and his appearance. And all I felt was, there's the guy who's an asshole to people on Twitter. And I thought it was pretty clear. I know there's a lot of interpretations and people are free to interpret something as however they like. But my takeaway from it is Kathleen Kennedy ain't going nowhere. I think they praised her to praise her. I think it was genuine. They wanted to make sure to let everyone know that she had something to do with The Mandalorian. And that's what Jon Favreau did. He said this wouldn't happen without her. Favreau's praise came during the recent release of the second episode of Disney Gallery's The Mandalorian, titled Making of Season 2 Finale. Favreau opened the episode stating, I think there's an interplay with storytellers and the people you're telling the story to. You find the emotions run deep with Star Wars. They do, but not that much anymore. Well, not at all with me. And people's relationships, especially people who grew up with it from a young age, feel a lot of connection to it. Absolutely. He continued, I think the one constant thing I'm feeling is that people care deeply, that it's being handled correctly. Yep. But it's not. That's the problem. And you fire Gina Carano. It meant so much to them, and they want to see it continue in the future and feel like it's all connected with consistency. That's a stretch. Favreau then went on to praise Kennedy. And we're lucky that between Lucasfilm and Kathy, the whole group that we have are incredibly supportive and encouraging. Favreau would offer more praise for Kennedy as well as provide details of her role in season 2. By the way, they were showing shots of her on the set for season 2, while specifically talking about bringing back Mark Hamill as Luke. Favreau said, Kathy Kennedy, we thought in very early on this conversation, and Kathy, first and foremost, is a great producer, and producers figure out ways to make things happen that are creatively exciting to the storytellers. He continued, not only does she understand how to create an environment where we can have all the tools we need to explore and experiment and be creative, but also knows what it takes to incubate ideas and understands the significance of when to do it right, what that can represent. Favreau's comments echo what CEO Bob Chapek had to say about Kennedy back in March, basically saying stellar. Now, listen, here's what Chapek said. That's where Kevin Feige and Kathleen Kennedy are at their best. By the way, really hard to tell the difference between the two these days. One has teats, one doesn't, both woke. Managing that mythology, so there are little pieces here and there that they dribble. They dribbled fucking woke bullshit in it, and they all connect. It's really amazing. Geniuses. He would describe her as an absolute treasure. Now, that could mean anything in Hollywood. That could mean, I'll freely admit, somebody saying an absolute treasure could mean like this person's the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen. Chapek asserted, well, just like Kevin and Kathy and Sean at the studio, Jimmy, Dana, blah, 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 whatever. They're all awesome people. Yay. Here's what I think. Doesn't fucking matter. Kathleen Kennedy has done her job. If she set out to destroy Star Wars, well, it's done. I judge things by actions, not words. Words are wind. And what I've seen from Star Wars is, I think it's been pretty consistently woke. Mandalorian, was a bit of an outlier. It 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 was a bit of an But my only interest was Gina. That was my only interest in that show. I thought the show was mediocre at best. There were times that were kind of cool. There were times that were horribly cringe. The Boba Fett episode is awful, like start to finish. It makes no sense. There's no script. It is terrible. But it had Boba Fett in it. So everybody's like, ooh, Boba Fett, jingling keys. But they fired Gina Carano. They hired a couple of racists. They went after Star Wars Theory, who's since forgiven them, and that's good for him. But all of that compounded, but mainly the firing of Gina Carano and what they said about her, and what they said about her, they said about you, by the way, and me, that we're abhorrent, that we're racists and white supremacists, and that fucking rewriting Ripley shit came out, and it was backed by all these people who work at Star Wars, and haven't heard a fucking thing since. By the way, maybe they saw that it was a massive backfire and it exposed them, and it fucking exposed them. That's the main thing it did. And they tried to fuck with us in our arena, and we slapped them back like the little biatches they are. You know, my message to everyone at Lucasfilm is try not to be bitch made today. Just try for one day not to be bitch made. I don't think it matters if she comes or goes. I don't know. I know there's rumors 2 and 4, right? And they're just rumors, and people can do rumors on their channel. They're free to do whatever they want on their channel. If people find that entertaining, that's awesome. That doesn't matter to me. I think the rumor that she is staying, I find that one a little suspect because of the timing. The rumor came out on the year anniversary of a Patreon page where the rumors are behind a paywall. So the Spock eyebrow goes up on that one. Like, what? My wife can do that really well. So that rumor came right on your 1-year anniversary of a site that I believe is behind a paywall. Some of the stuff is behind a paywall. Why? Well, yeah, I don't really criticize other YouTubers, but some people have a voice for blogging. We'll just say that. Some people have a voice for blogging. So I don't know. I have no idea. I know she still works there today. That's all I know. I know that if she leaves, even if she is fired, humiliated, which is not going to happen, to right the ship of Star Wars, those rumors you hear would actually have to happen. They'd have to fire Kathleen Kennedy, rehire Gina Carano. They'd have to erase the Disney trilogy from existence. Fuck putting it in another universe. Erase it from existence. And that still doesn't mean I didn't see it, because I saw it. Apologize to the fans and find a way. Well, we can't with Carrie, but bring Han Solo and Luke back to life. You see how insane this is sounding? Like, no company would ever do this. For one, it would be admitting they're wrong. Now, it would save Star Wars somewhat, but it's not going to happen. In my opinion, that's just based on my speculation. I could be wrong, and if I ate crow on that, I'd be fine with that. I'm okay with that. I just don't see that. Just doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me, especially since they're doing a Kylo Ren theme hotel, a room that's like $6,000 a night. Who in the fuck's I wouldn't pay that much for good Star Wars. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. And that's, according to Drunk 3PO, that's the reduced rate. It's actually going to be more expensive than that. Hail Drunk. By the way, hail Drunk 3PO. Shout out to Drunk 3PO, who was the one guy who got the Luke Skywalker rumor right. He's the one who called it. And I don't think he gets enough credit for that. Shout out to Drunk 3PO, who was the meme of the week for FNT Vegas. So it doesn't matter if she comes or goes. For me, this is just for me. Star Wars is dead. I should have been just filled with nostalgia and good feelings and remembering, our hero Luke. And for me, it's done. There's nothing they can do. I can't unsee that shit. I was just discussing with somebody last night The Last Jedi and how I felt when I saw it. And I've never had a movie, like I walked out of there with like this searing, insane, like worst headache I've ever had. I had to call my wife. I'm like, I can't drive home right now. I've got this insane headache. So I staggered. I was in downtown San Francisco. I probably looked like a crazy person. I staggered to a liquor store to get some water, and I downed a bunch of water. And I thought maybe because I'm dehydrated, but then it crossed my mind. I'm like, maybe it was this movie. Did it really do that? I mean, like, that was bad. It was an abomination what they did to Luke. But that really started it all, although it wasn't the thing. I think Ghostbusters 2016 started it all, but that was pretty bad. And if they can do it with Luke, they can do it with anybody. And, well, here we are years later, and they've done it with fucking everybody. And they're not done yet. There's still Iron Man. There's still Captain America, Thor. Wait till you see Thor Love and Thunder. Gonna ruin your mythos in a minute, baby. If you look at the company overall, Disney owns Lucasfilm. They own Marvel. Look at the direction Marvel's going. That is in line with the narrative of Disney. What is the narrative of Disney? Well, this is the company that wanted to train their employees with critical race theory just 3 months ago. And by the way, they're probably still doing it. They probably just said they got rid of it, but they just probably tweaked it a little bit. I know for a fact Warner Brothers is training their employees with that stuff, and so are other companies. They're not calling it CRT. They're just calling it something else so they don't get outed. So, no, I don't think Lucasfilm is going to buck the trend and all of a sudden not be woke and filled with intersectional feminism and critical race theory. I think they're going to be right in line with the rest of Disney because Marvel is. And Marvel right now is the more successful franchise. It's the one that's making more money. I don't know for how much longer. So I'll believe it when I see it. Jon Favreau just backed Kathleen Kennedy and hasn't said a word about Gina Carano in her defense. Not a fucking peep. Is he in charge of Star Wars? Probably. I talked about this in my first Mandalorian review. I said, wow, this guy should probably be in charge, and maybe he'll take charge like Kevin Feige did. Kevin Feige wasn't in charge of Marvel. He was one of the people in charge. But he became the person in charge through his success, and he was able to put his name next to every successful thing with Marvel, and he was able to blame Ike Perlmutter with every unsuccessful thing from Marvel. Why was he able to do that? Because he's a producer, and he knew that Ike Perlmutter was a famously reclusive guy who didn't give interviews, didn't even like his picture being taken, so he could throw out any accusation he wants, and he knows Ike Perlmutter wouldn't say anything. He was able to build a narrative. Kevin Feige's in charge. Kevin Feige is woke as fuck. And I believe he is the male Kathleen Kennedy now with what he's doing with Marvel. I think people are starting to recognize that. I mean, hell, that Spider-Man No Way Home trailer just eviscerated Shang-Chi and the Eternals. It killed any interest. Now, there was somebody, forgive me, somebody sent me a video they made calling bullshit on Spider-Man No Way Home being the most viewed trailer in 24 hours. And if I can find the email, I'll share it out. He asked me to share it. I watched it's his first video. So, I mean, you might want to take it easy on him, but he does go through Facebook, through Instagram, and through YouTube, and proves that it wasn't watched by 365 million people in one day. It was watched by like 165 million in one day. That's still a fucking lot. And the reason it was so much was Doc Ock, not Tom Holland, not Zendaya, Doc fucking Ock. A villain from a much better movie from 2002 is the reason everybody tuned in to the current MCU. You see the problem that presents? The next thing is always more interesting. Like Shang-Chi, some people might be going just to see the credit scene. And that might be the best scene. Who fucking knows? The next thing is always more interesting. Oh, well, here's a great example of that. Here's a fantastic example of that. Oh, I'm gonna go on this one too, John. I'm gonna. Apparently, somebody's whining about YouTube grifters. Yeah, I've been hearing that a lot. Shit. Jeremy and I and many others have been hearing that in our sphere for a long, long time, and that's a Jarbo take. That's a Uber Eats driver take. Here's the deal. Well, we'll get to that in just a second. Let's one thing at a time. Sorry, I'm being a little magpie-ish right now. Real quick, let's go to Michael Keaton. So the biggest thing about this movie is Batman returning. It's a Flash movie. Do you know this is the first Flash movie? This is the first Flash movie. Flash is a great character. It's a fantastic character. Ezra Miller's a fucking terrible Flash. Worst fucking idea ever. And I think the only reason that guy keeps getting jobs is, well, he's probably been very favorable in producer circles, if you know what I'm saying. And I'm sure you do. I'm sure Ezra's been around the block. Consenting adult. Keaton opens up about returning to Batman in The Flash, expresses his confusion regarding the multiverse. Yeah, his tune has changed. Remember when he's like, I don't know if I'm going to be on that. I'm afraid of the coof. Remember how he used to feel about the character of Batman. All of a sudden, he respects Batman. And maybe he's finally woken up and realized, like, he's beloved and you should embrace the role. Every actor goes through that. I have no problem with it. I'm not going to go over this whole article, but I'm just showing you that the most interesting thing in the Flash movie is Batman from 1989. Batman from 1989 is the most interesting thing in the Flash movie. So basically, our superhero movies are becoming Ready Player One. Didn't like the movie. Thought it was okay, but it looked like a big commercial. Space Jam 2 was like the same thing. It's just like, hey, let's put all these nostalgic things. You know what would be better? Dark Knight Returns, starring Michael Keaton. Bring back Jack Nicholson, de-age him, or just get him to voice the character or whatever. The Joker. Yes, the Joker will have survived. I always thought killing the Joker was dumb. Spider-Man 4, directed by Sam Raimi. That would be more interesting. That would make more money than Spider-Man No Way Home. The Dark Knight Returns with Michael Keaton will make more money, would have made more money than The Flash. Both of those movies would probably be, even in COVID, billion-dollar films. They're fucking easy. They're slam dunks. Why don't they do them? I don't know. Oh, I know. Hollywood's stupid. Warner Brothers is stupid. This is the company that doesn't know what to do with Superman. They got Henry Cavill wanting to play the part. They got a great Superman willing to play the part. He's a very popular actor amongst female audiences. I would dare say a Superman movie would probably have a majority female audience. And they still don't want to do it because he's a white male. Because of the CRT bullshit that's going on in Hollywood right now. They need to fail miserably. They're going to, by the way, and it's already started to happen. Free Guy being somewhat successful is, although with these successes, even with Candyman, these are adjusted numbers, folks. It's all bullshit. They're not really that successful. The movie theaters are still fucking empty. Free Guy was okay, by the way. I saw it. Thought it was a little bit too long. But it was okay. It was fun. My kid loved it. And that's what's that's who you're supposed to like. But yeah, so the most exciting thing happening in superhero films is now bringing back old superheroes. Well, then bring them back properly. Make the fucking movie. And don't waste our time with Ezra Miller. Kai MFS for $5 says, he's an author, by the way. I have a big announcement at 4 p.m. Pacific time, sending you a link on Twitter for a sneak peek. You're going to love it. I will check it out, Kai. We love Kai, by the way. Kai's a good guy. And we'll get to your questions in just a minute, but I have to get to this. I have to get to former Screen Junkies contributor Dan Murrell whines about YouTube grifters. Okay, I don't know who Dan Murrell is. I wasn't that big into Collider or Screen Junkies. I think the first channel I was watching was Midnight's Edge for nerd stuff. Emergency Awesome and Midnight's Edge. I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Charlie's ever come out and talk shit from Emergency Awesome. Oh, and there's a Comic Book Cast 2. I'd stopped watching that a long time ago. That became silly. Former Screen Junkies contributor Dan Murrell is whining about YouTuber grifters. Murrell posted on Twitter, there is a network of grifters who thrive on sticking woke or SJW or whatever. The new iteration will be in front of something different each week or two. He-Man, Candyman, What If, Star Wars, whatever. It's a perpetual outrage machine that's algorithm friendly. Dan, you know what makes it algorithm friendly? The algorithm, that's click. That's concerning. Why is there a click? Well, sorry if there's a click. The algorithm is it doesn't, the people find the video. The algorithm just presents it up. Nobody's forcing you to click on my face. Hang on a second. I know what it is. Check, check, check. There we go. Sorry, I don't know if I was just hearing the click or you guys are, and still kind of hearing it, but it doesn't look like it's coming through to you. That's awfully weird. But we'll just have to live with it. Okay, so the algorithm is based on interest. Okay, so people are interested. So here is this take one more time of, there's a bunch of idiots out there who just watch videos because they're a bunch of drooling nincompoops who don't know better. And all we do is put little keywords up. No, we're just not afraid to call something woke or SJW. It is a well-earned phrase, has been for quite some time. And, I don't know, is this shit not woke? Did things get better? Dan, again, I don't want to judge if this guy's been a lifelong nerd or not. That doesn't matter. This has always been fandom. It will always be fandom. We've always had arguments like this. It's just public now. And people like you or your site, Screen Junkies, have coined terms like toxic fucking fandom. You're the ones who have sold out. You've put your lips on the knob of Hollywood and you have chosen the creative over the fan. There is just a bunch of YouTubers who just decide to say, fuck Hollywood. We like the stuff. We want to continue liking the stuff, but I have no interest whatsoever on having a star of a movie on this channel ever. or a creative? It's been offered quite some time, a lot actually, and the answer is no. The answer is always no. I'd rather talk to the fan. So let's hear what he has to say. And again, this is I preface this when you say grifter, it means, well, for example, say you're a YouTuber who said, "Oh, I hate comic books and superheroes, and I've never liked comic books and superheroes," but then you make 4 videos a day about comic books and superheroes. Yeah, then you're full of shit. But that's one thing. I think most people have their own takes on nerddom, and you don't have to be into something to still have a take on it. I think it does become a bit much if you did go out and say you hate superheroes and comic books, yet you still talk about them all the time. Yeah, there's a point there, but that's a minority. So there's this tweet. Here we go. He continued, these videos are then parroted and become the discourse around whatever the topics of the week is. This is a hot take, by the way. I've never heard this before. The people who make these videos only have 3 or 4 things to say, but they say them to a rapt audience daily who then spread the message to every corner of the internet. Okay. So we don't have valid points. We're just parroting things. So when the adult pretender from Cowboy Bebop went after the fans, this is the kind of thing he wouldn't say a thing about. This guy wouldn't say a thing about. He'd be all, she's got a point. Meanwhile, it seems like the other voices get drowned out. Nuanced isn't algorithm friendly. Oh, so we don't have nuanced arguments. We're just a bunch of idiots. Okay. The folks whose living depends on peddling this outrage pick the carcass clean. Sometimes Brie Larson says something at an event in 2018 that you can twist and build a channel around. And good for you. Is it twisting and building, or is it speaking for people who, well, you obviously don't speak for? That's for you guys to decide. The YouTuber then posited some of this is genuine outrage. A lot of it consists of bad fate distortions, a performative ritual to keep the wheels spinning. They cast themselves as everyman. Well, because a lot of us are fighting a straw man war against enemies that don't exist, to attacking things they usually haven't seen. Well, I mean, like, I can only speak for myself. I watch everything I critique. I base everything on my experience in fandom, being a fan, selling comics for 10 years, a couple years working in Hollywood, and breaking the narrative. Oh, so some of it is genuine. That's nice of them to say that. But the fighting a straw man against enemies that don't exist, that's the key phrase there. Oh, really? Dan, were you aware that Kevin Smith admitted in his long diatribe on his live stream that there are creatives in Hollywood who are purposely, politically provoking people? Are you aware that Michael Chabon admitted that within his scripts he is going after certain fans because they think differently than him as far as politics are concerned? Or maybe you knew that and you're just part of that little club. He finally concluded the thread, but YouTube is a big place. Yes, it is. There are people out there who genuinely care about art, film, TV, etc., as do I. Seek them out. Let the grifters grift. They've found their audience. They will remain successful, but there's room for everyone, even if it doesn't always seem like it. Yeah. So what's grifting? coming out and saying you like something to maintain access, which you might not actually mean, or, I don't know, somebody being genuinely pissed about their franchise being fucked in the ass. That's, again, for time for you to answer. I don't know, Dan. I don't know, Dan, so I'll ask. I wonder how well his channel's doing. See, my philosophy has always been that YouTube is a very large place, that anybody can come at anything with any opinion. There's plenty of room for everyone. But here in the pop culture sphere, it's not unlike selling comic books. A lot of us sell the same shit. It's just how we present it. It's our take. It's how we connect with our audience. Do we see ourselves as separate? I don't. He says we paint ourselves as everyman. I am just an idiot with a microphone. I am just a fan. I'm not in the big club of Hollywood, nor do I want to be, ever. I'm very happy where I am now talking to you guys. I'd much rather talk to you guys. That was the reason I started this channel, was because I missed talking to people at the comic shop, period. But channels aren't drowned out. We don't have that kind of power. Tim Pool gets 50,000 people, and he'll stream at the same time I'm streaming. I don't feel like I'm being crushed or drowned out by Tim Pool at all. I think there's room for everybody. YouTube is massive. If things aren't working out, I would look in the mirror. That's where I would look. So anytime you hear YouTubers come out and doing this, first thing you should look at is how their channel's been doing. Now, maybe his channel's doing great. I don't know. We'll find out. John Trent gets to that point. There we go. Interesting. Mural's whining about YouTuber grifters has a ton of contradictory points. He begins by condemning these grifters for critiquing various different media properties for being woke, whether it be He-Man, Candyman, Star Wars, or What If, implying that the critiques are not valid. However, just 3 tweets later, he stated some of this outrage is genuine. He goes on to point out that other channels are getting drowned out. Yeah, that's one I hear all the time. But then 2 tweets later claims YouTube is a big place for everyone. Yep, that's called talking out of both sides of your mouth. In fact, Mural seems to be doing quite well for himself on YouTube. He started his channel in March 2020, already has 97,000 subs and over 8.5 million 8.5 million views, according to Social Blade. Social Blade also notes his channel is now ranked in the top 50,000 YouTube channels in the United States. His voice is clearly not being drowned out. As for his claims about people being twisted or twisting Brie Larson's words from an event in 2018, it's unclear who he's talking about, but Brie Larson clearly stated at the Film Crystal Lucy Awards in Los Angeles in 2018, I don't need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work about A Wrinkle in Time. It wasn't made for him. I want to know what the film meant to women of color, to biracial women, to teen women of color, to teens that are biracial. She added, and for the 3rd time, I don't hate white dudes. These are facts. These are not my feelings. I'm like way over Brie Larson. Have been for a long time. Don't really care. I think she's a horrifically miscast Captain Marvel and Carol Danvers. Does he provide any examples to actually justify his opinion or claim? No. It's just a sweeping generalized. He decided to type on Twitter. So yeah, he probably saw the Cowboy Bebop stuff, some of the He-Man stuff, and decided to spurg. Let me check something. Though. Yeah, he's doing okay. Yeah, he's doing good. You know, he's got almost 100,000 subs for a channel that's almost a year. Probably has something to do with him being involved in Screen Junkies. Getting about half of his sub count on a lot of videos. Yeah, he's doing fine. I don't know what he's worried about. He wasn't that big on Picard. My Picard review is still going to come out, by the way. Yeah, looks like he's doing fine. Somebody crawled into his britches. That's it. Somebody got into his fucking head. Somebody who wasn't welcome, by the way. So, yeah, I mean, that's something we've been hearing this since I started, dude. Since I started. So what do? I just keep doing what I'm doing. I love the unsolicited advice that I get from a lot of other creators telling me what I should or shouldn't be doing with my channel. I love that there's so many people out there who think they're the arbiters of fandom, which I have never said I was, but I certainly speak for myself. I really love what content creators who I've never talked to or talked to very little think that they know what's best for my channel or other channels when their channel is completely different, starting out, or completely lost traction. Whatever that reason is, I don't know. If somebody wants to have a real dialogue about it, DMs are open. Somehow that never seems to happen. But I would say that you're grifting when you overpraise a movie like Shang-Chi because of the makeup of the cast. You overpraise it to maintain access. You don't really like it that much, meaning you're out there lying, which means that's selling snake oil. I started this live stream talking about people always being tripped out about how much we're into stuff. You see this room. It probably they probably like, that's a 52-year-old guy surrounded by a bunch of action figures. And yeah, no shame to my game. Yes, I'm into this stuff that much. Yes, I care this much. Yes, I will watch a 5-hour video about fucking Doctor. Spend months making a very long, don't know how long yet, video breaking down Picard because I cared about Star Trek and I thought the destruction of his character was blasphemous. I thought it was abhorrent. I thought it was an abomination. And I'm going to tell you how much because I actually give a shit. I thought what happened to Doctor Who was despicable. It was done out of fucking hate. And no, I'm not going to shut up about it. It's a dumb British show to most people. That's great. It's not to me. Don't let anyone ever slow your roll, and don't let anyone ever tell you how much you should care about something. I think the 2 words for any of those is fuck off. Don't you worry about me. Mind your fucking business. We old nerds have been hearing that shit all our fucking lives. We heard it from our parents. We heard it from our friends. We heard it from fucking everybody. And you know what? You don't get to decide like how much I care about something. And if it's something you can't fathom, that's your problem, not mine. People can go after my arguments all fucking day. That's great. Don't ever question how much I care. Sorry if that clicking's coming back. I think it's in my soundboard. Phoenix Tangent for $5.99 says, I feel like anime fans have been on fringes of nerddom for many years, so there's this natural defensiveness that creeps out when there's an attack on anime. The fortunate thing is that Western adaptations can never be part of the canonical stories. Yeah, and I think that is fortunate. I think anime, just stay on the fringe. Stay there. That's where it works best. That's where it's most faithful, and you don't have the Hollywood posers, imposters, provocateurs coming in to fuck up what you love, because they love to fuck up. There are people in this world who love to destroy people's happiness. You know, again, you don't see me making videos about other YouTubers. And again, that guy, you know, that's the same take from 3 other people, word for word, that I've heard over the years. And again, like, you know, he has a right to his take, whatever. I think it's fucking wrong, but he has a right to say it. And I don't make videos about other content creators because that's not what I'm here to fucking do. They can disagree with me. They can go after my arguments. I care not. I really don't. I'm here to just comment on pop culture. I'm here to review films, tell you what I like, tell you what I don't like. Like Suicide Squad quite a bit. I still think it's like, you know, it isn't the greatest movie ever made, but it's the best thing I've seen in a while. But most stuff is shit because everything woke turns to shit. Forgot Lower Decks, check out Final Space. Or forget Lower Decks, check out Final Space. The series is free on Adult Swim and on demand. Everything you ever wanted from an animated series. Be well and hang in there, Gary. Thank you, Captain Spire, for $5. Final Space. I don't know if I've tried that or not. Yeah, I've already forgotten Lower Decks. Lower Decks is nothing. It's not worth reviewing. It's not worth wasting my time on. When things are just like, when they're not completely fucking horrible, but they're like 5 out of 10. Those are the worst things to review. That's why I didn't review last week's What If. It was like a 5 out of 10. It was like, I don't have anything really compelling to say about it. Thank you, Captain Spire, again for $5. Life pulling up tiles, relaying floors, cleaning and gardening. I'm backish. Is the address to the mail thing still valid? Yes. Recall Newsom, and remember, being a vegetarian is a huge mistake. Oh, the dad jokes are back, Captain Spire. Yeah, the P.O. Box at nerdrotic.com. It is, I got to read it off. It's in the About section of the channel. It is. Oh, by the way, Friday Night Tights, I know it's stuck on hour 3, right? That's YouTube. I've contacted them. I don't know if they can fix it. When I go in to edit it, it's fine. So what I'm probably going to do is screen record the last hour, and I'll re-upload it on Nerdrotic Live. So look in the community section. When that happens, it'll probably be tomorrow morning for the last hour of the show with Chrissy Mayer and Dan Vask. Oh, and of course my phone it's just not coming up with stuff now. Here we go. Oh my God, that clicking is driving me crazy. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. P.O. Box is Nerdrotic, care of me, 16769 Bernardo Center Drive, Suite K1 844, San Diego, California, 92128. Again, it's on the About section. I could put it in the description too. The mashup for $5. What are your thoughts on the new Resident Evil reboot? Also, would you mind shouting out my channel? The mashup. Go check out the mashup. It's called The Mashup. And I only know about the Resident Evil movies. I am not a gamer. Oh, and is it a reboot? Yeah, the movie. Yeah, I'm not into it at all. I'm a Mila Jovovich fan. Big time Mila Jovovich fan. I'm checking out this guy's channel. Yeah, it's called The Mashup. Go check it out. Thanks, man. It's Mila for me. John Connors for $10. I don't care what the topic of the day is. It's always a pleasure and privilege listening to you. May your fire burn bright and its light breach the darkest night. Wow. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. That is high praise. Again, I was talking to somebody last night for a long, long time, and it was great. But lots of live streaming in the future. We're gonna the plan is to have my own personal compound in the middle of nowhere. Not as extravagant as Tim Pool or Joe Rogan. Nowhere near that. But my own a room like this. But it'll be more 360, so you're going to see everything. Hopefully that's in January. That's what I'm shooting for. We're still in the process of selling our house, and it's going to take a while. It's just going to take a while. We thought we had something done. It wasn't done, so now we're just taking offers. John Connors, thank you. I appreciate it. Your vagina is not a test tube. Chrissy should narrate high school sex ed videos. Yes, she should. Jim Bob Wee. Chrissy Mayer is awesome. Chrissy Mayer is awesome. Okay, let me get down here. SJ Almighty, thank you for the 10 pounds. I appreciate it. Liam Kahn for 5 Canadian pesos. Hell, Gary, I am very proud of you for starting One Piece, and I can promise you, if you stick with it, you will love it. Long live the Straw Hat Pirates. Yeah, it's cool. Do I have it close to me? I don't. Somebody was kind enough to send me that and My Hero Academia, and I'm going to watch that, and I will review it. The members will see that review first, and then the rest of you will see it on Nerdrotic Live. Thank you, Liam. Brightest Day for $1.99. I identify as a meat popsicle. I do as well. The Uber Geek for £5. Didn't Bebop Cowboy Girl say something sarcastic, remark that the costume would rip? Has she not seen The Fifth Element? I tell that to Mila Jovovich. Yes, who was wearing fucking tape. And she did it well. Yeah. I thought it was a great example of how full of shit actors are. And I think you all saw that as well. Okay. You all saw the same thing I did. She didn't even mean what she said because she was in something scantily clad in a movie. And she will, okay. The phrase I heard a lot when I was working in Hollywood, especially from actors, is I'll be whatever you need me to be. So she went out on her own. She went off script, and that's why I said in my tweet, you never let adult pretenders go off script. It's just never good. She learned her lesson. I mean, Jeremy from the Quartering said this in his video, and I completely agree. Like, this isn't about the tit size. I'm not like tripping on that. I think costume accuracy is important. I do think it is. And I'm going to direct you to I don't mind shouting out other people. I do it all the time. YouTube's a big place. So Comic Book Girl 19 is a channel I used to sub to, and then she went to Twitch. And then I just kind of stopped watching. She came back. Somebody tweeted at me her Loki review. I thought it was fucking fantastic. I don't agree with her all the time. But with this Loki review, I thought it was spot on, and it was great hearing from a woman that I really miss. And she said, I'm paraphrasing what she said. I really miss the sexy when women were sexy. And that needs to come back in a big way. And you want to see your movie tickets selling more. Yeah, bring that shit back. A little objectification ain't so bad. And a lot of ladies like it. So that's what she was talking about. She was pissed that Loki got deconstructed and that, what did she call, all the Marvel women are no fun Marvel mommies. And I thought that was a very good description. Omni Hexagon for $10. Hail Gary, chat, and the wrenches. Hail to the chat. Hail to the Nerdrotics. Great to hear Governor Newsom might pay for his crimes. As an aspiring voice actor, I'd be happy to move to Cali without him as overlord. Yeah. I'm done either way, but I will be voting to recall him and then voting for Larry Elder. And I probably wouldn't have thought much of Larry Elder until the LA Times and everybody started attacking the guy. And I looked into him, and he's a radio show host who used to own a business. He's a black man. And he's dangerous to the narrative. He's very dangerous to the narrative because he's about the individual. He's about the small business owner. And if Larry Elder is governor of California, there is a very, very good chance California remains open. If Gavin Newsom is the governor of California, there's a very, very good chance there will be mandates and lockdowns. Maybe both. I was supposed to say mandates or lockdowns, but maybe both. Darius Munchausen, thank you for the $1.49 super sticker. It is appreciated. Thank you. Decijo for $20 or 20 euros. Sorry. Hail Nerdrotic. What you said about nerds and being too much into X, that struck me quite a bit. So what? That we love things that others see as childish. So what? We enjoy things that others do not. We are nerds. We love what we love. Exactly. We have been hearing that shit all our lives. And yeah, from our parents on down to our friends, on down to people who use the Fandom Menace hashtag. We hear it from fucking everybody. That's fine. People can say what they want. Pay it no mind. Be proud of what you are. Embrace the strange. I'm a little weird. I understand that. And I'm okay with that. I embraced it a long time ago. Long time ago. By the way, hashtags are hashtags. You cannot be canceled from a hashtag. You cannot join a hashtag. You can't be fired from a hashtag. You can't hire a hashtag. But what you can do is type it. And anyone can type that hashtag and use it however they like, and that's just fine. It doesn't necessarily mean we're in business together or we're friends. The nobody guy for $5. Hail, Gary, this race flipping is getting ridiculous. Yes, it has. They swapped the Jewish guy Asian, the white guy black, and the Asian girl Latina. What the hell? In the Eternals, I believe they swapped the Asian guy black, or was it the other way around? Yeah, it's gotten ridiculous. But the good news is that meme of the Black Panther as Chad basically resurfaced. It's from a couple of years ago. And a couple of years ago, that fucking meme probably could have gotten you fired from a job. But now people are laughing at it. And I thought that was a real fucking good sign. That people felt less afraid to post it. And this minority of mental midgets has been able to intimidate a lot of people through fear. There's people, I reposted something today that was horrific, but there's people out there who want you to lose your job just based on the difference of an opinion on a fucking movie. There's people who are regularly calling us racist for not liking a movie. Apparently, it's right wing to not like The Last Jedi. And I know people have heard this and it's like it's old hat, but like, let's really think about how fucking ridiculous. Check, 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 check. Yeah, I'm wondering if my soundboard is dying. Sorry about that, folks. Where was I? Oh, there. Yeah, that's where Collider and I don't know if you're hearing the clicking or not. That's where Collider and Screen Junkies lost the plot. They chose creatives over you. Creatives over you. Hey, that really wasn't my fault. It just stopped for some reason. I mean, I'll take responsibility when I accidentally like hit the mute button like this. Wait, if I hit the mute, wait. That's hitting the mute button. That's me fucking up.
I'm gonna come.
Do not come. Do not come.
Oh, I love that. Oh, but yeah, and that's why they lost their audience. Is they kept pushing that fucking bullshit narrative. You know, those keywords that we use. They kept pushing woke Hollywood and using woke Hollywood to call you racist, bigots, sexist, misogynist. That shit isn't working anymore, is it? And it's starting to die out. You're starting to see people back away from it. That's the most important. And pretty soon, everybody, Jeremy mentioned this. In a couple of years, everybody will have been against woke Hollywood. Everybody will in a couple of fucking years. Hail, Gary, I ordered the omnibuses of Shang-Chi rather than watching the movie. Good move. Also caught up on my Conan omnibuses. Hell yeah. And Cull books coming out as well. It says Shadow Fenrir 24 for $5. Cull is something I need to catch up on big time. I'm way behind on that. Conan is fucking awesome. And the Shang-Chi comics are good. They're very good. They'll be better than the movie. Hail, Gary. I read that one. Hey, Gary, I've never seen the Lord of the Rings films. Since entertainment is garbage nowadays, I'm reading The Hobbit plus Lord of the Rings books for the first time. I'm loving it. Our future entertainment is in the past. Afterwards, I'll watch these films. Oh, dude, Jake, the movie geek for $19.99. Please tell me what you think. Honest opinion. Gary at nerdrotic.com. Fucking make a video. If this is your first time watching it, absolutely make a video on that. If that's what you do. I'm guessing it says Jake, the movie geek, so I'm guessing you might have a channel. So do it. Do it. Screw it. Where is the last Bond film? Haven't they finished it? Are they sitting on it? Where is the Wyman representation? You mean Me Too, James Bond? I think it's coming out in a month, right? Or is it October? Hey, Google, when is No Time to Die coming out? October 8th. That's iffy. That's very iffy. That's after the recall. I think it depends on the recall. There's already mandates, I believe, in L.A. They didn't make me... I had to wear a mask at Blast from the Past, but I didn't have to... Oh, I wouldn't have gone in. I wouldn't have gone in because, like, as far as the poke is concerned, I am not poked. Fully poked. I don't think anybody wants to be fully poked. Calling them adult pretenders is an insult to absolutely... that absolutely great show, The Pretender. Fantastic show if you haven't seen it. And movie. The Pretender. Maybe I have. Justin White, I'll have to double check. Thank you for the 5 Canadian pesos. I love calling them adult pretenders because it pisses them off. Oh my God, does it piss them off. But that's what they do. And it just gives them perspective. It's like, yo, dude, you can interpret other people's lines pretty well. And you can make believe as an adult professionally well. Dude, if you can make millions doing that, more power to you. I don't count another man's or woman's money because that is bitch made. And I'm a capitalist. But let's have a little perspective. Like, I don't wake up in the morning going, I am going to do something great today because I have the most important job on the planet. I'm going to be talking to people on a microphone. And this is the most important live stream ever. You know, it's like that. This is a very important film. No, it's not. It's make-believe. It's make-believe. I love make-believe. I think it's fun. I like it. But let's have a little... If SMOD comes down tomorrow, Sweet Meteor of Death, or the great electromagnetic pulse happens and we're put back into the 1800s, your acting ability is going to account for jack shit. Can you hunt? Hail, Gary. Hail, Peter Steele. Hail, Fu Manchu, the band. Says Joe Thomas for $5. Hail, Peter Steele. I was rocking to Black Number One. I know, like that song is so fucking good. If you guys are not familiar with Typo Negative, it was a goth metal band from the 90s. Their lead singer was Peter Steele. He was 6'8", had long, straight black hair. He's been on Jerry Springer, has a deep fucking voice, had fangs, really sold it. He died of heart failure at the age of 48 back in 2010, probably due to his drug abuse, but was kind of a fucking legend, you know? Kind of a legend. If JFT does actually win, if John F. Trent actually wins a Pulitzer Prize, he will be formerly future Pulitzer Prize winning, now actual Pulitzer Prize winning author John F. Trent, says Rupert Patterson for $4.49. He will, but I always have this fantasy that John F. Trent will go up and get the Pulitzer Prize and then fucking throw it on the ground and walk away. That's what John would do. LL Cool J says, "Sup, Gary? Does a set of all sets contain a set of itself?" Oh, dude, that hurts my brain. Does a set of all sets contain a set of itself? The set of all sets is the set of itself. On requiring vax for movies. Did I read this one? It's fine. I'll read it again. The same people using the opt-out for decades are now saying opt-in will bring more people. Yeah, it's fucking she-tarded, as Justin Trudeau would say. It's she-tarded. I was only a quarter mile away in Burbank. Mahler equals BBBC. BBBC. Chris Topher, I couldn't, I didn't want to, because I was going there to meet somebody. But I will be back in LA September 1st. And I don't know if LA is good for a meetup though. I'll do one in Burbank if you guys want. We could all go to Blast from the Past and maybe meet at like a bar or something. I'll figure out a place, where a few of us can hang out and have some lunch. I'm all for it. John Bartolo, what is up? By the way, that is for John Bartolo for letting us use his studio on Friday Night Tights in Vegas. The studio was fucking awesome. I haven't been around that many guns since my drug slinging days, and that was cool as fuck. He also had some comic books in there that were pretty fucking cool. Yeah, what's up, John? Thank you again. The best and brightest are not running for office. The real question is, when are you coming to the show? The people want to know. September 11th, I will be in Vegas, John. I'm going to see the comedians of Compound Media, Chrissy Mayer and Anthony Cumia on. So I'm going to do Friday Night Tights, and then I'm going to jump in my car after the show and drive to Vegas. I'll be there Friday night, September 10th, and I'll be there through Monday. But yeah, let's do something, dude. Let's do something. I'll emails you and message you after the show. You didn't have to super chat, by the way. Thank you, John. Check out the John Bartolo podcast. Pretty big podcast, by the way. It's a big time podcast. And he's a good dude. There was I'm not into the MMA fighting, but there was an MMA fighter there while we were, and I had no idea. I felt kind of bad. I was like, I should probably know who this is. But I never got into the MMA fighting. I don't know why. Ironworks Gaming for $10. Amazon is buying MGM Stargate 1. New show coming. If it's woke, grr. I hope not, Gary. If you haven't watched Stargate SG-1 and Atlantis, you must. It's as good as the new Battlestar. Yeah, Az and I are planning on watching it after we're done with Babylon 5. I do have a Buffy thing I want to do with, I think Az will probably be in on this too with Mahler, and I'm rethinking it now. I don't think it's just going to be one talk about Buffy. I think it's going to be a Buffy and Angel talk over multiple live streams, probably like discussing a season. And we'll do that in a separate thing from the real BBC. And it'll be something I keep on my channel because, you know what? Yeah, I would love to recommend something that, yes, I know Joss Whedon's a dick. Separate the art from the artist. Buffy and Angel were two of the best shows ever made. The only one I think is better is the Russell T Davies era of Doctor Who. Season 1, 2005 through season 4 specials was fucking magic, almost perfection. Best fucking TV I've ever seen. Buffy and Angel. Angel's got the best season finale I've ever seen outside of the Newhart show, that's number one, dude. I mean, when having a dream that you're in a show with your previous show is the best ending ever. That was fucking great. And Newhart was funny as fuck. I love that show. Eric K for $5. Gary, she is not pretty, kind of meh to me, but to each his own. She's cute. She's not, we're talking about the actress from Cowboy Bebop. She is not a classic beauty. Elizabeth Olsen is like a classic Hollywood movie star. Beautiful. Not like, I'd still say she looks like, she looks like a classic, beautiful Hollywood movie star. This girl is cute. She looks like she would be a good, like if they remade, I'm blanking on the name now, Hackers. She looked like she would be in the remake of Hackers, playing the Angelina Jolie part. But yeah, she just looks like a little girl. I'm into women myself. Not little tiny girls. Got to have a little Gina Carano on the cover. Did you see? This is what I'm talking about. Now, by the way, I'm a happily married man. But let's get this up here for any. I'm sure most of you already saw it, but somebody might not have. Oh, we got to show another. Fucking the libs of TikTok is like, I'm kind of obsessed with that a little bit. I have to go through all the Friday Night Tights retweets. By the way, keep those coming, man. Have your drinks out, your food out, ready for Friday Night Tights. I will, over the course of the week or that night, I will retweet every single one. And I know Az will as well. I think Jeremy will as well. But I just wanted to say freedom has never been hotter than it has been now. Freedom is fucking smoking hot. If I can find this. Well, that's not fair. Hang on. Life isn't fair, though. There it is. Oh, yeah. Check. Okay. I'm hearing that clicking again. Holy crap. Look at that. That's a woman right there. Okay. Fucking freedom is hot. Hail Gina Carano. She's working on her new film, and I'll probably do a video on that. I meant to do one recently. I guess I'll wait for her next update, and I'll do a video. I promise to pub it as much as possible. I think we should support it. If you want, I don't mean to should you. I'm going to support it as much as I can. Because if it's successful, for one, her being on that cover shows that she's not completely blackballed in Hollywood, and I think she will get a deal from a Warner Brothers or a rival studio somewhere. And I think that would be a wise move. If they're going to remake a fucking Xena or something like that, Gina would be perfect for it. Feel for you, Gary. My Vietnamese biz owner wife of a nail salon got shut down for 2 months. I said, fuck it, stay open. And that's good. Not that all right guy for $5. And yes, the Vietnamese community, the Asian community was hit specifically hard. They were hit as hard as any other small business owner, especially in San Francisco. They have the majority of the Asian-owned businesses are the majority of small businesses, and they were fucking decimated. Black-owned businesses were decimated. Latino-owned businesses in L.A. were decimated, particularly restaurants. Nobody talks about that, though. The news didn't go talk to them. Why? Because that would break their fucking precious narrative. And now they're paying for it. I'm not a member of any party. I am proudly independent. I'm pretty. I guess my politics are pretty close to Eric July's. Anarcho-capitalist. I love capitalism, and I don't like rules. But the worst thing that could happen to the Democrat Party is our current president and our current governor here in California. It's a dream for the opposing side. Trust me. And it's going to end up backfiring in a way you could not possibly dream of. And that's probably good, because I'm seeing the tide turn a little bit quicker than I thought. And it's a good thing if we survive, if we fucking survive, which I think we will. I think we're going to be okay. Don't need to bring out those black pills yet. You might want to use a black pill or two on a certain franchise like Star Wars. That's fine. But for life, long way from it. Long way from it. Nicholas Young for $10 says, I've never voted Republican, but plan to vote to recall Newsom. Democrats have a super majority, and there are homeless under every freeway. No rule of law. Crime is up and embarrassingly woke. Nicholas, that's exactly what the people I talked to at Burbank said. I witnessed a homeless encampment under a bridge that's in the middle of two freeways. I don't know how the fuck they get in and out. It was in the middle of two 12-laned freeways. There's this on-ramp. So they would have to get on the on-ramp, I guess, climb up on it and have to climb. I don't know how they fucking did that. But they're there. They're there in between two 12-lane freeways in Anaheim. Yeah, there is a super majority in the state of California. And did you want to hear, I think it was retweeted. It was the Sacramento Bee said that a vote for Larry Elder is a vote for lockdown. And here's their reasoning. California is a super majority and the Democrats will block everything Larry Elder will do, sight unseen. I'm like, oh, that's your selling point. You're saying, oh, don't vote for Larry Elder. Nothing will get done because he defies the supermajority that has been in charge of the state for 40 years and has done nothing for anybody except for the big tech overlords. I mean, friend, look around your neighborhood. I might have somebody watching in Compton right now or East LA. Look around your neighborhood. Has anything really changed in the last few decades? All those promises? No, they haven't. I'll answer the question. No, they fucking haven't. I've lived in California all my fucking life, and the homeless is worse than I've ever seen. The crime is worse than I've ever seen, and the state used to be beautiful. San Diego, downtown San Diego used to be beautiful, and I went down there. My baby boy Ryan saw a guy masturbating in front of him, and then Melissa and I had a guy fighting himself. And that was just near the comedy club we were going to go see Kurt Metzger. And it didn't used to be that. Now, back in the 80s, downtown San Diego was terrible, and they cleaned it up, but now it's back like it was in the 80s. Why is that? You can't blame the Republicans for that. They have no power here. You have no power here. So let's just keep the same old, same old. Let's vote for more lockdowns and more mandates because it's a D, and it's like rooting for it. You know what? We got to stop. All of our fucking elected leaders have failed us, and we need to stop voting because somebody's cute. Gavin Newsom got into office because a bunch of women in California thought he was handsome. He's handsome. I'm going to vote him in because he's handsome. He's an incompetent fucking tard, but he's handsome. He's got good hair, and he seems nice. He doesn't put up mean tweets. Give me fucking mean tweets and an effective leader. Pretty much anything Hollywood's for, we should be against. They are for Newsom. Steven Spielberg, one of the biggest donors. That'll be in my video coming up. And again, fair warning to the audience, like I will always be pop culture focused. That's what I will always be. That's what I'm into. That's where my knowledge is. That's what I love. It's one of those things I just like too much. I know there's people out there questioning openly. You can't care that much. Actually, I do. Why don't you? You don't hear me asking that question. But it's obviously they don't. And that's fine. You don't have to care as much as I do. But don't question how much we fucking care. XSL for $4.99. Shang-Chi is too much of a side project. Real future should be more familiar, but I don't know which one. What do you think should it be? Or real failure should be more familiar, not future failure. Shang-Chi, yeah, it's just too average, and it's obvious why they did it. To pander to Asians. They had a successful marketing pander to black people with Black Panther. They made it a cultural moment, and it actually became one. So it was a very rare occurrence. It's like going, I'm going to make a viral video. And Disney actually did it because of very clever marketing. They made a very average superhero movie a cultural moment, and it was. And I'm not going to take that away from anyone. And if, Black Panther's, and what also worked is Black Panther's a good character. He's a character we've all been reading in the comics forever. He's been in the Avengers forever. He was really good in Civil War. Chadwick Boseman was very good in Civil War. So, sure, the movie does well, great. Let's do the same thing except with the Asians. And we'll use the Shang-Chi character. But then they looked at the source material and they went, oh, and this is going to be problematic. So let's use an Iron Man villain called the Mandarin, because that won't be as offensive as Fu Manchu. Shang-Chi could have worked if it was a rated R crime drama and you got a guy who looked like fucking Bruce Lee and he's running around in a gi doing Bruce Lee shit. Make it a period piece. Make it absolutely in the 70s. Get Quentin Tarantino to direct it or somebody like that. I think that would fucking be watchable. It would be fun. A good, fun homage to 70s kung fu films. Fucking violent as fuck, over the top bloody. It would have been great. Nope, we're going to get this homogenous. Here is the Asian Marvel superhero. That's all it is. The Favreau article read like a eulogy, says John Gibson for $5. It really did. That was like my icing on the top for Star Wars. Listen, I'm not going to say I'll never make a Star Wars video as far as covering the news, but reviewing stuff, the only thing, I'm pretty out. The only thing that I might come in as a curiosity is Obi-Wan. But not Boba Fett. Don't care about The Mandalorian. Don't care about Star Wars as a brand. Don't care about it at all. And I'll probably be out after the first episode of Obi-Wan because I felt nothing. I went to Blast from the Past and I saw all their old vintage Star Wars figures and I felt nothing. Like they had the Hoth playset. I destroyed my Hoth playset because I played with it so much. Best time is now for $9.99. Member berries no longer work on me. Also, just bought an FNT song and a bunch of others from Dan. He really rocks. Thank you. Best time is now. I appreciate that for $9.99. Please support Dan's efforts. All the funds go to Dan. Dan worked on the song. We get the song, and I can use it for whatever, but the proceeds go to Dan. So, and I am totally okay with that. We do have a Friday Night Tights shirt. And we're going to have another one soon. But we do have a Friday Night Tights shirt. It's at mixtees.com/nerdrotic. I'll show it to you real quick. There's a Nerdrotic shirt, and then there's a Friday Night Tights shirt. And the one thing about Mixed Tees, they won't ban anybody for making a Gina Carano shirt for charity. None of that shit. No canceling. So that's why I use Mixed Tees. If this now I'm boomering. It won't even come up now. That's weird. That's anticlimactic. Well, that sucks. Yeah, OBS is really fucking up today. This is great. Good for let's try this. Oh, motherfucker. That's not going to work. Let's try this. There we go. Finally. That took way too fucking long. Yeah, so there's the Mixed Tees site, and there will be more. There's going to be another Friday Night Tight shirt coming soon. I'll let you guys know what's going to happen probably in the next month. We're also going to have the mugs available, the Fake Geek Tears mugs for Friday Night Tights. Sorry that took so long to get up there, but yeah, I really like Mixed Tees. It's run by the channel Popcast. The Popcast guys run this. Talk to them at the Star Trek convention. They're doing good. They're good guys. They're not in the whole culture war sphere. They do like theory videos and stuff. But they certainly don't give a shit. That they like to make money. They're capitalists, so they're not going to be silencing any of us anytime soon. And I fucking appreciate that. I really do. Brown Gaijin for $5. YouTuber Hero High confirmed that Cowboy Bebop, Mr. Watanabe, only handed his notes to Sunrise Anime. I'm sure Sunrise handed it to Netflix, but okay. Yeah, that whole creative consultant argument is, for one, it just because the creator of Cowboy Bebop has anything to do with the fucking show doesn't mean he signs off of what some actress said about his fandom that he helped create. You know who else created that fandom? You. Gina Davis is one of my favorite actors, and she's a diehard feminist, but I don't care. It's only when she stars go over the line that I lose respect for him, says Femboy Baroness for $5. Exactly. There are stars out there who, you know what, if they like a president, so what? And they're just all about that president. But the minute they go into, if you support the other side's president, you're a piece of shit. You're a fucking white supremacist. You're a Nazi. You're a this. Once you start it, well, you're attacking half the country. And that doesn't help at all. Go after arguments, not after people. Yes, some people are assholes, and if they're assholes to you individually, they're open game. That's it. We all got our limits, right? Douglas Brown for $5. Sorry, a bit late, off topic, but I was wondering if you saw this. Oh, the Playmobil's Star Trek USS Enterprise. Keep up the great work. I have. It is pretty fucking great. The problem is the money would go to CBS. I'd have to get it secondhand, and I would rather get the Master Replica Enterprise. But here, I'll show it to you. It's like $600. But it's got it's got fucking everything. It's badass. But it's $600. That's a lot for a kid. Scott Vakra for the best Batman stories remain the 80s run leading up to Nightfall. I agree. Any of the material would rule. Grant Wagner, Brayfogle, I'll never know how to pronounce his name, need movies from that. Yes, they skipped all over the good shit to get to this other multiverse. Razor Fist was right. Multiverses are shit. They're a fucking gimmick. They're only used for crossovers and stuff, and nothing good comes out of a fucking multiverse. And we're going to get America Chavez, the lesbian portal puncher, and a lot worse. Bilbo for 50 Czechoslovakian pesos. Thoughts on Witcher Season 2? Laura Hisrich at least knows source books well, but she's a total woke Dumbo. She needs... she said she wants to challenge the material. Yeah. she's going to challenge herself right out of a fucking job. And if Netflix doesn't wake the fuck up and get rid of her and bring in a real fucking showrunner, your next Game of Thrones is going to be the next canceled series on Netflix. I mean, Witcher was a fucking sensation. It was an absolute sensation. It was pretty good, except it focused on Yennefer way too fucking much. She got all the fucking money shots, and The Witcher didn't. It needs to be a lot of fucking Witcher. A lot of Witcher. I heard he doesn't have the majority of the screen time in season 2. What does that fucking tell you? And he spends most of the time babysitting. And I know he trains in the books, but still. And they're going to mix in the Wild Hunt. Does Adam Driver blow whoever rents that room? It says not applicable for $2. Yes. I thought Free Guy was amazing. However, it was The Truman Show, but a video game. First movie that had packed movie theater for me. It says Chris Pruitt for $5. It was a very full movie theater when I went. Comparatively to Black Widow, which had 6 people, The Jungle Book, which had no people, I would say Free Guy. I went on a Sunday, and there was like 30, 40 people in there. Captain Nerdrotic versus the Blue Whale, featuring his handsome sidekick Wonder Az. Guest appearance by the Ankle Biters from Geeks and Gamers, says Protege Music for $5. Hail. Hail. Watch out for them ankle biters. They're everywhere. That's the best term. Eric July came up with that term. Lou DeMarzo for $9.99. Red Letter Media completely destroyed Brie Larson's white dude rant, citing Tangerine, a movie about African trans that all white dudes gave a fresh rating. But no one complained about that one, right, Brie? Exactly. Thoughts on King Spawn #1 pre-order sales? Snell World for $5. What exactly are they? I need to look. Hang on. I knew it was coming out. Todd McFarlane's King Spawn 1 has generated retail pre-orders of 497,000 copies to comic book stores, according to Todd McFarlane Productions. That's from Games Radar. That is from 20 days ago. The issue, which goes on sale August 25th, which has already come and gone, was written by Sean Lewis and McFarlane, interior art by Javier Fernandez. Ooh, I want to buy this now. Okay, so it's non-returnable and non-retailer exclusive sales. It's almost important to keep this in mind, that sales to the comic book stores, meaning how many copies retail stores ordered, and not necessarily for readers. I can believe 500,000. I can with the hype that was behind this. And I think there's so much disdain for Marvel. Plus, I want you to think about this too. The 20-year rule. We're right at the 25-year rule for nostalgia, meaning Spawn is about 25 years old now, and it's time for the nostalgia. The 80s nostalgia is wrapping up. We're headed into 90s nostalgia, and what's more fucking 90s than Spawn? Than fucking Spawn. I think it's fucking fantastic. Fuck Marvel and DC. I'll go buy this book. I should have probably picked it up, but I haven't been in a store. Oh, well, I haven't been in the store selling new books, but there's a store right down the street that I'm sure has a copy that I'm going to go and here, I'll see if I have his card. I think it's exciting because the one thing Todd McFarlane isn't is woke. The Comic Lounge in Escondido, owned by James Border Jr. The number is 760-975-3830. I'll be there in about an hour or so to go pick me up a King Spawn number 1. I'm going to read that bitch. I think the sales, I think that's fucking outstanding to hear. Because it's not Marvel and DC, and maybe, just maybe, Toddy M can show them how it's done. I fucking love Toddy M. And yeah, 497. That's fucking great. But can he stick with it? Here's the important thing. Can they fucking stick with it? That's great, though. That is fucking great. Look at that cover. That cover is fucking dope. I love Spawn. So I'm a big Spawn fan. I'm still waiting for my Kickstarter Spawn figure, which I haven't gotten, but we'll see. Thoughts on Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order game? Not a lot of thoughts, Ty Sloan, for $1.99. I don't game. I'm sorry. Ryan Kinnell is the guy to ask for that. I've been a fan of the Doctor since 1977, watching the BBC, and as a kid in Scotland, 13 broke my heart. My doctor who died with 12. Yep. You and pretty much everyone else is Jim Largo. Thank you for the 35 Martian pesos. Wolverine Snicked, $4.99. Hail, Gary, I watched Primal this weekend after hearing about it from Friday's show. Freaking loved it. Thanks. You're welcome. Primal is a beautiful show. Everybody should be watching Primal. It's Tartakovsky at his absolute best. Absolute best. Oh, man. Okay. Sorry, I was just like, I was like, I got to go to the comic store now. That's so good. That's so good. But look at this. We got a little, hang on. WG. I want you to be able to see that. Oops. WG for $100. Thank you, WG. Thank you. Hail, Gary. I heard you had to tap into your Freedom Burrito Fund in order to maintain your surplus Warsaw Pact audio-visual equipment. Here's a little something for that Mint 46th Motorized Rifle Regiment speaker system you've had your eye on. All the best, man. Thank you, WG. I appreciate that. Yeah. Either my soundboard is crapping out or it's the USB connector. It can be either or. You got to check both. Yeah, I'll find out. But WG, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You the man. What do we got here? There is also a 1 in 250 McFarlane signature ratio cover that these non-returnable comics. I'm a Spawn fan, but Todd is doing the Marvel variant tactic. That's what I figured. But listen, they need money. They need money. And I don't mind giving it to Todd McFarlane, who has always been fan first, not the fastest artist in the world. And he doesn't need to drop, but he's my favorite artist. Modern artist. He's my favorite modern artist. I think him and Silvestri are fucking brilliant. I like Hitch as far as newer stuff. McNiven, big fan of McNiven. Yeah. Kirby's the all-time great, but I'd have to say my in his time, in a very small era, Michael Golden was the best of the best. Frank Miller in his time, John Byrne, I think John Byrne and Kirby are the GOAT to me. Gary. It's the Shelderon. Get it right. The Shelderon. I'm sorry. The She DeLorean. I'm a freaking tard. So Mandalore 2267 for $19.99. I sit corrected. It's the She DeLorean. And it certainly was at the end, that big rescue where the Mandalorian is holding a fucking baby and there's 4 women surrounding him. That was pretty fucking intersectional. But Gina was there. So at least one of the women, well, so was Katie Sackhoff. So I kind of went soft on it because it was Katie Sackhoff and Gina Carano. And if those two are in anything, I'll fucking watch it because they're fucking awesome. I'm not big on Agent May from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because although she looks great for 57, she's like 5'2" and could get blown over by the wind changing direction. Thank you for correcting me. It is the She DeLorean. I'm going to use that from now on. And thanks again, WG. A couple more donations, then we going to be out because I've got to get some videos done. The Grizzly for $20 says, Gary, I completely agree with you on Newsom. Though there's one thing you're missing with his political sports team analogy. It's a tragedy that a nation founded on critical think now has people being taught not to think. Yep. They don't want you to think. And I'm seeing rebel conformists. I mean, look at this fucking psycho. Look at this psycho.
There was a meeting about mask mandates at my city hall tonight, and outside of it on my way home, I passed a bunch of anti-maskers trying to protest for the right to die and end up disabled, and all I want to do is scream, "Fuck you! Please die! Just die! Like you're literally killing yourself and the people around you. I am out of fucking empathy at this point. Why am I wearing a mask to protect your fucking child when the bare minimum of parenting is to protect them and you won't?"
Okay, so number one, point out all that ink she got in the last year. Look at how fucking new that ink is. It is just all like fresh as fucking, you know. So somebody got woke over the last 2 years, threw an earring in their nose and thought they could like, by the way, she's in her fucking pajamas too, probably in the middle of the fucking day, wishing death on people. Wishing death on people. It's not the first time I've heard that. Actually, I heard it from a YouTuber. I heard a YouTuber say that they wished we had died during the coup too. I did. Yeah, for one, that's the worst form of karma there ever could be. 2, you are really gone, like need a lot of fucking help. Your narcissism and you're just fucking gone. And this is what being locked up does to people for a long time. But what is this? The rebel conformist here. I don't even know what the fuck she was really talking about. What, keeping the kids masked up? It doesn't matter. You're not mandated. Kids aren't, yes, they're going to carry it. Kids carry little fucking diseases. That's what they do. We're going to have to live with this. As far as being handicapped, what the fuck are you talking about? Turn off your fucking MSNBC. But yeah, we have it. I mean, she's a fucking infant. This woman is an infant. She has the brain of a fucking 6-year-old. She can't even hold in her fucking anger over something that really doesn't exist that severely. We have raised a bunch of fucking pussies. Bunch of fucking pussies. Okay, Gary, if you decide to watch Stargate, be sure to skip Universe. It's more refined series. Make sure not to skip Universe. It's a more refined series, has BSG and Expanse vibes. Cool. Curious about your thoughts on Travis Karras, the secondary artist for DC and Wildstorm, but his Space Girl comic blows my socks off. I'll have to check it out. I'm not familiar with that name. I'll probably recognize their art, but I'm not super familiar with the name. You said Space Girls is good, Weston? I'll check it out. I will. Unless it's DC or Marvel, which I'm not buying right now. You do like coffee, then you need Krigler coffee. It's awesome and fully American. Go get some to help support an American business. Says Mark Redacted for $5 Australian. I will support Adam Krigler. I love Adam. He's brilliant. The Blank Podcast with Ian Slater. Gary, leaving Cuomo, Slovakia in a few hours. This was my plan already. All of our stories gave me cause to continue and move. Plus, was that Gina? Yeah, that was Gina Carano on that cover, dude. Oh my God, she was hot. Gary, I worked on both Picard and Orville. Would love to chat with you about my experience on both, off the record, of course. Holy Wars for $5. Email me, Gary at nerdrotic.com. Let's talk. Gary, I was wondering if you watched Batman the Long Halloween animated movie. Thought the voice acting was great and stuck to the source material. Zach S. I thought it was great, Zach. DC animated universe is fucking brilliant for the most part. Bear Nerd Friend. Haha, Google answered you on my phone. It did? That's awesome. We need a meme of you at Gary the Snail and as being Patrick Star from SpongeBob SquarePants. Wild Warlock for $5 Australian. Yeah, why hasn't that one happened yet? Hale, can we just pay Gwar to make a superhero movie? Fuck yeah. Odorous for the win, yes. Volkert Cornells for 11 euros. Hail, Gary, the voice of reason amidst the woke insanity. Watching your streams and videos always makes my day a little less crappy. Many greetings from the Netherlands. Wow, thank you. And talking to you guys makes my days fucking great. Hail, Gary, if you don't want to spend money on these corporate bullshit, they will change because at the end of the day, it's all about money. Hashtag bring sexy back, says Vapor Knight AAA. Yes, I agree with Comic Book Girl 19. Bring sexy back. All right, the rest I'm going to get on a square up. I got to run. Everybody, I think you guys are fucking awesome. Thank you for being here and enjoying the Nerdrotic Nooner. I'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific time on Heel versus Babyface channel with Mahler and Az for Real BBC, and we will have much to talk about. The Nerdrotic Nooner will return Wednesday, sometime between 11 and 2. I've got to make videos in between now and then, too. And, of course, we have Friday Night Tights with Clifton Duncan. Ladies, Clifton Duncan returns, and you never know who else may show up. You never know. We had an appearance by Grace Randolph, maybe Chrissy Mayer. You never know, because Chrissy's awesome. I will be in Las Vegas the weekend of 9/11 to go see Chrissy Mayer and the comedians of Compound Media. You can just Google the comedians of Compound Media. The tickets are $45. There's 2 shows a night, 7:30 and 9 p.m. I'm going to both shows on Saturday. And so if you want to meet there and hang out, let's hang out, because I'm pretty much going by myself. So, yeah, I hope you all have a freaking wonderful day. Don't let anyone slow your roll. Don't let anyone tell you how much you can or cannot care or something. And may the wings of liberty never lose a feather.
Nerdrotic.com. Nerdrotic.com. Nerdrotic.com.
not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.